Okay, here we are. I wanted to show y'all what I'm doing today. This is a leg warmer for a little girl, and here is the second one. I am loom knitting this, and I have 5 rows left, and I wanted to show you how I am doing this. Each leg warmer needs to be 55. This is my little guide. 55 rows. Okay, so this is the second one. I have 5 rows left. This is a 4-ply variegated red heart yarn. What I usually use is red heart, especially for something that needs to be warm. So I did get this off of a video, and I'll link the video below, the tutorial on how to do this, but I figured I'd go ahead and show you what I'm doing today. So I'm going to, once you get going, now you have to cast on and all of that, and then all of your rows are the same for the whole thing. You do 2 E-loops, and then you're going to do 2 purl stitches. And I don't loop over the E-loops until I've done all the way around. That way, when I am either talking to someone or watching something or listening to something, or I have to get up and stop and come back to it, I don't lose my place. So I just keep them E-looped all the way around. And we're just going to do 2 purls. And a purl is, and I will link to the tutorial that I found because this is new to me, and I think she did a really good job of explaining it. I'm going to loop 2, E-loop 2, and then we're going to purl 2. Make sure I get right in the center. You hold the string up here, go under and pull the string through, pull this loop off, and pull that loop on. And I'm pretty sure she did it a different way, and I'm doing it upside down compared to some people that do the my dog's trying to get my attention, so I couldn't do that one. I'm doing it upside down compared to a lot of the people I see looming, and I don't know why, but this is just how I do it. Okay, so we're going to do 2 purls. Just pull it through and loop it over, put the new loop on. Then I usually pull those pretty tight and then do the next 2 E-loops and come through here. Now the difference that I have is I crocheted a row of single crochet on the 2 ends. So I'm hoping these are for a special little girl, and I am hoping that they fit before I make another pair with this pattern. I'll just make sure they fit before I make any more. And this is the last one. Now, the important part here is to mark your rows on something. Some people use and then I'm going to go over here and do all of the E-loops because I'm done with this row. I came back to this beginning, and I'm going to do all of the E-loops over and just go all the way around. Make sure not to get your thread in there a second time because that will tangle it up. And we're just going to go all the way around and get those E-loops. And I love this variegated yarn. I love the colors in it. It's so pretty and delicate. And there's your final row. Now, what I've done here is, whoops, threw my pen, is I'm marking the rows. I have 4 more rows to do. Now I'm just going to get those rows done real quick, and then I'll show you how I get off of here. Okay, here are the last 4 stitches here, the last row. And we're going to do 2 E-wraps and then 2 purls. That has been the pattern around the entire thing for all 55 rows. Now this equals out to about, let me finish those out in just a second. I'm going to show you how long this actually is. Her little leg is 9 inches long. So this is 12 inches long for 55 rows of the Loom Knitting. And that way it'll give it a little bit of bunch at the bottom. You know how you wear leg warmers. And another thing I want to show you is when you're holding your loom pick, I hold it like this all the time. Well, I got a callus right here from doing it. So if you put that other finger underneath it when you press, put it under here instead, you won't get that callus if you hold it like that. It's better to hold it like this if you can and switch it up, because if you get a callus and get a blister right there, then you won't be able to loom knit. Now what I'm going to do is take this off. That was 5. That was row 55 of 55. It's a lot of rows. And then we're going to knit off. So we're going to take this and wrap it around twice so we have enough thread. And I may do this a little bit different than the other video that I'm going to link to show you, but this is just how I've adjusted it for what I do. And then I'm going to put this on here. You need a yarn needle. You don't have to have a metal one. They do have plastic ones, especially if you've got a younger child learning this. So I just already have these, and you just sew your thread. Now I've got it upright like most people loom, right up through each stitch. And I go ahead and do this all the way around without taking them off. Some people will go up, and you can take them off as you go, just like that, after you've knitted it or sewn it through. But it's easier for me to do all of that after, all at once. That is just how I do it. You just go make sure it goes through each thing from the bottom up. You have to go the same direction or it won't stitch it. It will just loop through and then come out. So you want to go through the bottom up on each one. I tried knitting the other day, and I admire people who know how to knit. Now, it is nearly impossible for me to knit. It is the most difficult craft I've ever tried, and I probably won't ever knit again. I did make a little 6" by 2" piece of a scarf. It looked pretty nice, but it was so difficult that I decided not to keep going. And I crocheted the same scarf within an hour, got the entire thing done. Crocheting is a lot faster, therefore a lot more satisfying to me, because I can do more projects in less time. Anyway, here we're almost to the end. And we are going to go up these last 3. And thank you for watching. Now, we're going to start over here, just so we don't pull that thread out. And you just go around here and you loop all of them off. And that is it. Loom knitting is very simple once you learn the few techniques that come with it. You have a couple of stitches you can do. I know 2 stitches, and I know there is a 3rd one that I haven't learned yet. I don't consider myself an avid loom knitter, but now I'm gonna zoom out here if I can and show you how this will look. Her her ankle is 8.5, which mine is 8.5. I know because I make bracelets. And this area here is about the right length. So here's the end. And there is the part I just did. And this is backwards. So this is inside out actually. So let's just go ahead and turn it and put it on. This is how it will look. And the reason I'm not continuing with this and making another set until she tries it on is I might need to make it a little bit bigger. These are really cool. I love how this turns out. So let me just finish this up here. We're going to take this. You don't want it pulled too tight. Come in a little bit, and we're going to take this thread, cut it off a little bit. And we're just going to sew this in before we crochet, just because we can, and it will secure it. And I just sew down one of these stripes here, just a few stitches, and then go back up. And you twist your needle so it'll come out, and that's it. Now I'm going to take the thread here. Okay, I'm going to take the thread here and do a slip knot on my finger, and then tighten it down on the crochet needle. This is a size G, which is my usual, and we're going to just go into one of these holes, and you're going to get 2 strips so it's pretty sturdy, and just slip it through and do 1 chain. Then you're going to do a single crochet all the way around. Daisy, no. All the way around the top and bottom of the, stop. She can't stand not to be held. And if you want to see Daisy, you can see her in some of my other videos. She is the most adorable little puppy. She's very dramatic. We're just single crocheting. Loop through, grab it, and come through both. Come through the hole. Whoops. If I can get through. Grab your yarn, pull it through, and you've got 2 loops on your needle, and you pull through both loops. Go in, pull through, grab it, and pull through again. So basically, you just do this all the way around. I love how these are a muted fall/spring color scheme. I think the lavender makes it feel springy, and the green and cream make it feel fallish. I'm just gonna go right here, and I just did one row of this on each end, so we're gonna close it off by pulling it through, and that's it. Okay, let me do that part again. To grab it to the other, to attach it to the other end, you just go through like you're gonna do a single crochet, but when you pull it through, you just slip right through both. Then cut off a good bit, about 6 or 8 inches, and then you pull this through. Now what you do is you take your needle again. Always stick your needle in something when you're not using it, because if you don't, it disappears. And I could almost guarantee that if it disappears, your foot is going to find it one day, and that is not fun. Feet are really good at finding lost pins and needles. So we are going to go to the inside of this because I was doing it on the outside. I'm just going to go down one of these rows. Right down here, you just sew it right through and it will not come out after that. If there was a big difference in color, I would make sure I was sewing it into the same color only, if possible. You just sew that down and then trim it off right there. And you don't have to worry about it after that. Now we're going to do this green right into here. And just sew this direction. Just in case this turns out to be the outside. Because you never know with kids if they would like to wear it the other direction. And really, it's an inside or outside. It's whichever way they like the best, technically. I think my dog is chewing on a book. I'm about to get off of here. Figure out what she's doing before I come back. We're going to stick this in here. Don't lose it. And that is the top. Now I'm going to go and do the bottom one, the second one, and we'll be done. I'll come right back in just a minute.